Here we go. Okay, so has anybody ever heard of what's called a binomial? Think about this. What is if you see the word anything that has bi usually means what? Two. Okay, so like a bicycle, two wheels. Okay, binomial. What do you think that's going to mean? Okay, basically a binomial. Okay, this is these are linear expressions. Okay, linear expressions are basically what this is adding binomials. Okay, and what a binomial is basically two terms. Okay, two terms. And yesterday when we talked about when we did um, distributive property, okay, some of the things we had more than one term. But what do we do when we have more than one term? We separate the terms and then we do what? What is that called? We combine like terms, right? It's kind of the same type of thing here. All right. So two terms. Now, what we're going to see, you're going to see two terms that are separated by parentheses. Let's start with a really easy one. It's very much, it's kind of the same thing as combining like terms. For example, if I had, in this one I had negative 7r plus 12r squared, and then I have a comma, and over here I had 10r, or you know what, let's do it differently. We'll say negative 10r squared plus 4r. Okay, so this is what we're talking about. I have two basic sets of two terms. So those are two binomials. Does that make sense for what I'm talking about, binomials? Okay. So what I'm going to do with these, what did I have to do when I combine like terms? What was the first thing I did? Who can tell me? You separate them. Good. So I'm going to separate these. Okay? I'm going to separate this term, and I'm going to separate this term. And this happens to be adding binomials. So what we're going to do is we're going to be combining these two binomials. So I'm going to look over here. What did I tell you guys first? Remember, what did I tell you to look for first? Just the numbers or the variables? You were to list the variables, combine the variables first, right? Okay, now what you're going to do, and this is the order that you're going to do this in, okay, you're going to go by highest exponent first, okay, and then work your way down, okay, to the next lowest, and you work your way all the way down until you have single numbers, okay. Does anybody remember what single numbers are called? Cons, constants. Good. Okay, so if I look at these, which of these two has a higher power, r or r to the second? R to the second. Now over here, which one has the higher power? Okay, and I can't combine, these both have the same variable, don't they? But why can't I combine these two? This one has an exponent of 2, and if I don't see an exponent, what's the exponent? Not 0, 1, okay? So I'm going to look over here, and the higher power I have is 12r to the second. So I'm going to combine this with this. And if I combine 12r to the second and negative 10r to the second, what do I have? 2r to the second. So I have 2r to the second. I'm going to cross this out. I'm going to cross this out. What is left for me to combine? Negative 7 and positive 4. If I combine negative 7r and positive 4r, what do I have? So minus 3r. Now, again, I can't combine these. Even though they have the same variable, I can't combine these because they have different exponents. So what should I do down here? Put them in a box. Okay, does that make sense so far? Pretty simple. Question, Drew. You mean do you actually have to square it? No, because this exponent is connected to the r, not to the 2. Because think about this. If you were, and that's a great question. If you knew what r was, would you multiply 2 times r first, or would you do r to the second power? What comes first? Exponents come first. So you would actually, you understand what I'm saying? If it was like this, then you would do 2r first and then square. But if that's not what it looks like. Make sense? All right. Okay, so now sometimes, well, let's take a look at one. You have, let's try this one. You guys do this one for me. I've got 9y to the 6th minus 5y to the 5th, and I'm going to combine that, add that with 15y to the 6th plus 3y to the 5th. Okay? So again, what am I looking for first? Before I do any combining, what am I looking to do? Somebody tell me. Somebody other than Jackson. I appreciate you, Jackson. Drew? Separate the terms, right? Bam, bam. All right. Now, look at this binomial over here. Which one has the higher exponent, higher power? 9y to the 6th. So what am I going to combine that with? Now, this one happens to be a what? Positive, right? So all I got to do is what? Put them together. So what's 9y to the 6th plus 15y to the 6th? 24y to the 6th. Okay. Did I deal with this and this? Now, you don't have to cross them out as you deal with it. I like to just to know that I don't have to go back and do anything with that. Now I've got negative 5y to the 5th and positive 3y to the 5th. What should I do here? So I combine those and I have negative 2y to the 5th. What do I do now? Box them up. Okay. Pretty simple so far, right? Okay. You won't, but you might have it in your answer. Here's one that like what I'm talking about. Okay. Does everybody understand this so far? Can I move on to the next part? Okay. So if I have something like this, let's say I have 13c to the 2nd plus 12c to the 4th. And then over here, I've got negative 7c to the 3rd plus c to the 2nd. Okay. So in this one, again, I'm going to, before I do anything, do what? Separate terms. I separated my terms. Okay. Now in this first binomial, what's the highest exponent I have? 13c to the 4th. Well, or 12c to the 4th. So when I look over here, is there anything I can combine that with? Why not? There's no what? There's no c to the 4th, is there? So what do I do with that? Just bring it down. Okay, now I go to my next highest exponent, but this is a 2. Do I have another higher exponent? That's this one, right? Is there any other to the 3rd power, c to the 3rd power, I can combine this with? So what do you think I'm going to do with that? Bring it down. And what has to come with it? The sign in front of it. So minus 7c to the 3rd. And now I have a 13c to the 2nd and a c to the 2nd. What can I make this c? 1. Does anybody remember what that number in front of it's called? Coefficient. Good. So if can I add 13c to the 2nd plus 1c to the 2nd? Then what do I get? Plus 14c to the 2nd. Good. So have I dealt with everything up here? Yeah. When I combined these, it didn't give me a binomial. I had 3 terms here, but that's okay. Sometimes you might have 4 terms. You might not be able to combine anything. Then you just have to put them in order. The biggest thing that you have to do, all of these exponents have to be in what? In order from highest to lowest. Okay? Does that make sense? Question, Austin. Is if you. Okay. That's right. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes, good question. So what Austin is, let's say that this to the 3rd, let's say that this one was to the 8th. Okay? That would go over here first. Okay, doesn't matter if it's in the 2nd binomial. Yeah. Is that what you're asking? Yeah, good. Okay. I'm going to write one up here. I want you guys to try it. Completely on your own. Okay. 12m to the 3rd. Yes, sir. Oh, I didn't know about it. That's the chair that murdered you? Okay. All right. All right. 12m to the 3rd plus 20m to the 2nd So simplify or add those binomials. Go ahead. Let's see if you can do this one. Okay, while you guys are working, somebody tell me the first thing I should do here. Separate my terms. Good. Separate my terms. Okay. What's the next thing I should look for? Audrey, what should I look for next? Highest exponent. I have a 3, a 2, a 4, and a no variable. So which one's highest? 4. Can I combine this with anything, peeps? Nope. So what do? Bring it down. Does it matter that it's negative? Nope. Okay, what's next? I have a 3, a 2, and a... Okay, so bring this one down, right? What? Can I just write 12m to the third? What would that mean that I'm doing? Multiplying. What do I have to bring with it? Even though it doesn't show here, that 12 is a positive, right? You've got to separate those terms. Okay? And then I have plus 20m to the second and negative. Can I combine these? But 20 minus 2 is 18. That's easy, right? Not allowed to combine them. Okay, so plus 20m to the second. And is there anything to combine this with? There's no variable. There's no exponent. So where does this go? Okay, good. How many of you have that for your answer? Okay. And I will put this in a box. This looks extremely complicated, doesn't it? It is not hard, though. This is not difficult. Ah, okay. Question, Levi. Uh-huh. Yeah, no, you got to keep, these have to be descending order. Okay. I mean, it's technically it's not wrong. That doesn't change the value, but you're going to want to have these in order from exponents. Question? No? Okay. Do we need to do any more examples, or are you guys good to go? All right.